Hi everyone, Natasha here, and around my home today we are back in the kitchen for the new year. So happy new year. Welcome to 2020. It's still kind of crazy to say that we are now in a new decade. So anyway, I was of course back to our usual routines this morning. This is Monday, January 6th, and my daughter went back to school. It was a little rough, but we made it, and I was so happy to get out and do my usual morning walk through my tiny town and got in a little bit of exercise and fresh air, and it just felt really good to sort of get things back on an even keel and back into our usual routine. So hopefully wherever you are, you're enjoying the same. I know it's a little hard to go back to work, but at the same time, it's been great having the holidays, and now I'm ready to move forward into the new year. So this morning I was enjoying my coffee and watched a little bit of Diane in Denmark, and she had posted her New Year, New You challenge for this year, and she's revisiting the FlyLady's 31 baby steps, and she called it Bahuki Camp. So I'm going to join along with her. I'm hoping I can keep up with all these and share them as I go. And I'm mostly doing it to keep myself accountable because I know the FlyLady system fairly well, but as we've been on holiday break and just sort of taking everything easy, of course, some of those routines didn't quite stay up, but that's okay. We're getting back on track. So I'd like to do this just to maybe encourage you, kind of jump back in, and we can get things ticking over at a usual rhythm again. And then also, like I said, keep myself accountable. So her mission for us today was to just sit down, take a few minutes to think about your routines and jot down your three most important elements of your morning routine and your evening routine. And as I was doing that this morning, I felt grateful that I do think in some ways I've made some progress. There are things like making my bed that I never even think about. It's just an automatic. It gets done every day. The only day it doesn't get done is on Monday, which is our sheet washing day. So that was nice to know that that's something that has become a habit and I don't have to think about it. Some of the other things I jotted down, and I just have them here in my Unbound planner, so I will share them with you. If you follow me for planning, then you may have seen my setup of that. So back in the notes section, I just went to the next blank page and jotted them down. So my morning routine, the first thing I wrote down is my miracle morning, which is kind of a whole separate system, but to me that's an important start to my day. So besides enjoying my coffee, it's a chance to just sit down and plan, set things down on paper, do some gratitude journaling. I always go in and update my daughter's 5-year journal with just a couple of sentences about the day before. And then get my exercise in with, at least on the school days, with our walk through town. I'd like to add in some yoga and stretching and morning energy work from Carol Tuttle's morning energy routine, and I'll try to link that below. But anyway, at the very minimum, some sort of a morning routine. So that's item number one. Second item is doing a load of laundry, and that's one thing I kept up with over the holidays. So it was nice to know that, we didn't come into this week all bogged down with too much laundry. I actually had everything all done last night. I think I did 2 loads yesterday, but they were kind of small loads. And today, the only thing left to wash were the sheets on our bed and my daughter's bed. So that's all done. It's in the dryer, should be done shortly, and then I can put those back on the bed. So the second item is my load of laundry each morning. Finally getting dressed to shoes, and that's one that I end up doing no matter what, but I'd like to get better at doing it first thing in the morning. It's real easy for me to enjoy my coffee in my jammies because I start my day at about 4:30. My husband leaves for work at 4:30 in the morning, so I'm usually up then, and I don't feel like I have to rush to get ready, but then inevitably it comes time to wake up my daughter and start heading out to school, and if I don't give myself enough time, then I'm rushing to get ready while I'm trying to get her ready. So I'd like to make sure I'm getting myself ready early at some point before it's time to wake her up, so that when I'm helping her get ready for school, that's the only thing we're focused on and just will help things go more smoothly. And then the fourth thing I have is making the bed, but like I said, that's automatic. So I almost didn't even write it down. And I thought, well, it really is part of my routine. So I'll write it down. So I have those four things, but the top three really are my miracle morning, my load of laundry, and getting dressed to shoes. And then for my evening routine, I wrote down clearing up, meaning mostly the kitchen. So I'm like 99% good at making sure the kitchen is pretty well tidied up, no dishes in the sink, things are put away. There are days when I'm like, oh, that thing is still sitting there, I still need to deal with it, so it stays there until the next day. But for the most part, I do pretty well at getting the dishes all cleared up at night. I want to add to that making sure toys are getting picked up, because I don't do very well with making sure that's all happening as we're winding down for the day. I get tired and I just think, oh, it'll just stay there till tomorrow when she plays with it again. But then that causes the mess and the pile to just sort of grow. So I want to get better at just clearing the decks at the end of the night. So that's there, but I want to improve upon it. And then checking the backpack, checking my bag, if I have an errand day tomorrow, making sure I have my grocery list and my shopping bags in the car, or if it's my day to go out and work at one of my other jobs, making sure I have what I need for that. If tomorrow is Sorry, that was my timer. I need to go pick up my daughter soon. But anyway, making sure the bags are packed and ready to go for tomorrow. And then the third thing is my outfit for the next day. And that one too, I almost didn't write down because at this point it is really almost automatic. I have my system set up and I'll link the video below, I think. I use the Louise Hay book called Colors and Numbers. It's basically a numerology system that kind of goes along with her, ideas and concepts, and she has some affirmations for each day, but I use that to help me determine my wardrobe for the week. And how it works is every morning when I'm getting dressed, I look ahead to the next week. If today's Monday, I'd look ahead at next week Monday and see whatever number that day is, which gives me the color, and then I use that color just to choose an outfit. So I always have a week's worth of outfits ready to go, hanging in my closet, and that's pretty much always done. I am a little behind because this is what always happens when the new year starts over. I have to go through and just jot down the numbers for a new calendar year, and I did that, but then I didn't go back in and set my wardrobe up, so I need to do that yet. But for the most part, that's a pretty well standard routine for me. So I have those three things: clearing up, sink, kitchen, toys, dishes, all that. Checking the backpack and the bags, making sure we're ready for tomorrow, and then choosing outfits for tomorrow. And I do want to add, I'm going to actually make myself a note, besides myself, which I can handle myself most days, and take care of myself, I need to see about, I want to add in there that I'm getting my daughter's outfit set for tomorrow and making sure we're kind of ready to go, like where are her shoes and do we have socks and undies and all that. So that's part of the outfit choosing, is making sure she's ready to go as well. So those are my three things and my morning and evening routine. So hopefully that was encouraging for you, and definitely go check out Diane. She's so encouraging, so positive. She's really been an inspiration for me, and she's really helped me understand the FlyLady system in a different way. Her take on it just is a little more simplified and kind of streamlined, which has helped me. And of course, she's great at reminding us, just like the FlyLady, always, to give yourself grace. Don't be so hard on yourself, and don't keep perfectionism out there as a goal and then not get anything done. So that's kind of one of my lifelong challenges, I think. And if I have time later today, one of the things I want to do is go through this, which is our ginormous family binder. It's our control journal, but as with other things in my life, I started out with a good thing, tried to improve upon it, and just came out with a huge binder that I never use now because it's so big. So I'd like to go through there as part of this new year, new you process, and just revamp our family control journal and make sure what's in there is actually supposed to be in there, and take out the extra stuff that's really not serving any purpose anymore, and make it something that we're using more often. One other element that Diane talked about and asked us to jot down were a few things for self-care, pampering, just taking a moment out for ourselves to do something we either enjoy or as kind of a treat or just self-preservation, I think she calls it, which is good too. So one of the things I jotted down, or three, I have three things that are 15-minute self-care items that I jotted down. So one of them is to read for 15 minutes. I have quite a few books that I've been intending to read for quite a while now, so it's my goal this year to start trying to read more, 10 or 15 minutes a day. Second thing would be to do a polish change on my nails. So I typically just do my own. It's pretty simple, similar to what she does. I just kind of change out the polish. Sometimes I do a little, clean up on my cuticles, but mostly a salt scrub here and there for some exfoliation. I'm always doing lotion and lotion bars, but the polish change is kind of the extra treat. And then to do some knitting or crocheting. So as you saw in my holiday prep videos, I was working on a scarf for my daughter. So that is finished. Let me go grab it. So this is the scarf that I knitted for her. It's kind of hard to see, but just has kind of a ombre effect, I guess. It was a batch of bamboo yarn that was sold together, so I just used that to make that. It has that pretty lace pattern, so it was a nice fun challenge for myself to keep up with that pattern, mostly because I was stopping and starting and had to use a post-it note to keep track of where I was in the pattern. But that is done, so now I would like to start on something new because I just enjoy getting my fingers in the yarn and working with something and being creative with my hands and making something useful at the same time. So those are my three items on my self-care list. I'm sure there's lots more I can add to that, and I probably will as I come across them or think of them, but wanted to add that in there as well as part of our New Year, New You challenge. So take a few minutes and jot down those three different things for yourself: the morning routine, the evening routine, and then a few items you can do for some self-preservation or self-care. That is it for me today. Happy Monday. Happy start to our regular routines back in the new year. Happy 2020, and thank you so much for joining me. I will look forward to seeing you soon. I should have my Christmas cleanup missions going next, so that'll be something else to keep an eye out for. Give me a thumbs up if you liked this video and you're looking forward to getting things off to a fresh start as well, and I will look forward to seeing you soon. Bye-bye.